it's Julia. Welcome back to my channel if you guys are always here, or welcome if you're new. Today's video has been highly requested for a very long time and I'm finally sitting down to record it. So today's video obviously is how I edit my Instagram photos, and I recently actually just switched over how I edit my photos with Lightroom, and I'm now using a different preset, but I'll kind of show you both of those and how I edit my photos. I don't really do a lot, I just put the color grading on and call it a day. I'm really into like the minimalistic neutral type of feed right now, just natural earthy tones, and I'm into kind of the minimal editing as well. So I have a whole editing folder on my phone, however I only really use Lightroom and feed preview. I'll sometimes use Photoshop Fix if I want to get rid of something in the background of photos, but I don't use that often. So for the sake of this video, I'm just going to show you Lightroom. I don't think Instagram is anything too serious. I don't personally go too crazy with anything. So like I said, I switched over to using Bianca Franco's Moody preset, which looks like this. I purchased it on Gumroad, which is the platform that she uses to sell her preset. So basically when you save the file onto your phone, it saves as a DNG file, which you can see in the upper right hand corner of her photo here. There's kind of two ways you can go about saving a preset. You can either hit the three dots in the upper right hand corner and you can go copy settings and then hit the little check mark, and then you can just paste it onto every single photo, or you can go the easier route and do what I do. I hit the three dots and then I hit create preset, which I actually already have her preset saved. So you can just type in whatever you want to call the preset name, which in this case, she titled hers Moody, and then you would just hit the check mark and that saves her presets. So you don't have to go back to that DNG every single time you edit a photo. Lightroom is a free app, which is really nice. I personally choose to purchase presets because I like to support other creators. You can actually color grade with Lightroom however you want. Like you could make a preset if you wanted to, but I'm not really knowledgeable when it comes to Photoshop and editing and things like that. So I just choose to support other creators. So I use Bianca's preset for that reason. I'll show you kind of a brief overview of Lightroom. To add a photo, you're gonna hit that bottom right-hand corner where it shows the little photo and the plus sign, and then you're gonna go from camera roll and you can import whatever you want here. But I already added the photos into Lightroom that I wanted to show you guys how I edited. So for the sake of this video, they're already in here. So I'm gonna edit this photo here. I actually uploaded this onto Instagram yesterday, so if you haven't followed me already and you want to, it's linked down below in every one of my videos. You're gonna swipe all the way to the right in order to add that preset, and you can see right where it says presets. So I have purchased quite a few presets. Aspen is one of them. It's so overexposed. Obviously with presets, you're gonna have to alter it a little bit when it comes to certain features of the presets, but I just don't like how they look on my photos. I also purchased my friend Lucy's presets, which I love her presets as well. And then I also have Karen Swanson's presets, which I used to use Swing With Me the most often. I'll show that a little bit later. That was more of my edited style of my Instagram posts, which I don't really edit like that anymore. So we're gonna go to Moody, which is Bianca's preset. So you just hit the little check mark and that applies the preset onto the photo. So the things that I use most frequently is the light section, and I'll adjust the contrast and the exposure. So she has her contrast turned down quite a bit, but I'll bump up the exposure. You can also bump up shadows too. So if you feel like a photo is too dark or too bright, you can adjust the shadows. You can adjust the whites, which I kind of leave them as it is. Next is colors, and this is what I usually alter the most. And how you get to each individual color with switching each individual color is to hit that mix button that has all of the colors of the rainbow on there. So then you would switch in between each one and you would just alter to how you like it. And then once you're done altering each color, you can just hit done. So I don't like a lot of yellows and oranges in my photos right now. So you can see the saturation is turned down a bit. So I'll just turn it down just a little bit so things aren't so yellow. And then for oranges, if I feel like I look a little bit pale, you can also bring down the luminance, and then you can bump up the saturation, which will obviously make you look more orange, which a lot of people like to do in their photos. A lot of presets make people look like Oompa Loompas. You kind of have to work with and adjust each photo to how you like it. Another thing with like denim, sometimes presets can make denim look a little funky, so sometimes I'll bump down the blue saturation because I don't want my denim to be so blue in the photo. Like I said, it's nothing serious, but it's just something that I like to do. All right, next we'll move to effects, and a lot of people like to use effects on their photos, and the effect that is most commonly used is grain. And I noticed in Aspen's presets, she really likes to use grain, like it's literally bumped up super high. I'm not a huge grain fan because I feel like it obviously makes the photo look a little lower quality, and we all have these nice phones and then we're bumping grain onto it. I've just never really understood that, so I usually turn the grain down. It's nice to have a little bit of grain, but sometimes I feel like it can be a little bit overdone, so that's just how I like it on my photos. I'll show you guys here. So you can see my face with low grain. That's what it looks like with high grain. I don't get that. It doesn't look good on my face. It makes me look weird. I don't know. I don't like it, so I turn it down. To each their own. You do you. You do what you want, but that's just how I edit my photos. That's pretty much how I edit my photos. I don't really do much with her preset. I think it looks great how it is. We'll go to how the photo looked like before I added the preset, and this is after. So you can see it's very, very minimal. It just looks a little bit darker and the colors are a little less saturated. And that's just how I like to edit my photos right now. That's the preset that I'm liking as of right now. So I'll show it on one of these photos, which I took outdoors. You can see the whites look very blue in this photo. So when I apply the preset, you can see it definitely darkens it. So I'm gonna bump up the exposure in this one, for instance, and then I'm gonna bring the contrast back up a little bit. And here's where I want to alter the whites because you can see they look very blue. So I'm just gonna bring the whites up a little bit. And then for color, I'm noticing that there's a lot of blue, so I wanna bump down the saturation of blue. This one, I don't feel like I really need to alter the yellows at all, so that's pretty much all I did for this photo. Sometimes I'll notice lips, especially if they're taken outdoors, the lip color will kind of look muted, so I'll maybe bump up the reds occasionally, but that's pretty much it. Here's the photo that I posted, and here's like the before and the after, so you can see very, very minimal edits. It just brings down those blues and makes the whites look a little bit less blue. So that's kind of how I edit my photos. I make things as simple and as easy as possible. I'll show this photo as well with that preset. So for this one, I would maybe just bump up the exposure a little tiny bit, and the yellows go down a little, and that's pretty much it. If you think a green looks a little bit too saturated, you can bump down the greens. Here's the before and the after, so it's just a little bit more muted, a little bit more subtle. So now we'll move on to the preset that I used before. That was a little bit more orangey and a little bit more saturated. I would use Karen Swanson's preset, and it's called Swing With Me. I will show this photo with that preset on it, so we're gonna reset this whole photo. So Swing With Me is this bottom one, and you can see it's very, very, very exposed. So I'm gonna turn down the contrast because I noticed this preset has a lot of contrast on it. Sometimes I'll turn down the temperature. I noticed the colors are a little weird. The yellow's luminance is turned way up, so that's why I look so strange because I'm blonde. But I just will kind of alter it a little bit. Maybe turn the orange saturation back up a little because she turned it down. The green, I would maybe alter a little bit. The red kind of looks weird. So presets are gonna look different on every single person because of skin tone, hair color, the lighting that we use. You just have to mess around with them a little bit. And I know sometimes people get frustrated when they purchase presets and they look bad on a picture, which is how I feel with some presets that I've purchased, but you really just have to alter them and then resave them to how you like, because each person has a different opinion on how they like their photos to look. So that's just something to note when it comes to presets and putting them on your own photos and whatnot. So that's kind of how I used to edit with Karen's Swing With Me preset. I'll link all of the presets down below that I used to use when I used to have the more like orangey feed, like way back when. These pictures, I'm pretty sure I used one of Aspen's photo. Oh my goodness, look at that. Look at the difference. So yeah, I think I definitely used one of Aspen's presets on this photo. This is a prime example, Instagram versus reality. So just keep that in mind when you're on Instagram. It's still beautiful, but it's definitely different. And then this is the app that I use to kind of see how my feed would look, but it just pulls in all of the photos that you want to potentially upload, and you can kind of see how it looks. Again, I don't really do this for every photo. You can see I just had to upload it, and I posted a few other photos since then. So that is how I edit my Instagram photos. Like I said, it's nothing crazy, nothing too serious. I just like to have kind of a cohesive feed as much as I can. I don't take Instagram too seriously. I know some people are all about their feed looking very, very put together, but it's just for fun for me. Once again, the presets that I used from Bianca and Karen are linked below. All credit goes to them when it comes to my Instagram feed. All right, that is all for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching and being patient with me for getting this video up. I will see you guys very, very soon in a new video.